off camera. I made the first half so that as we go I can show you where we are, our progress. So for the second half, which the materials you'll need are actually the same as the first half. You'll need two sets of these. You'll need 9 8mm red bicones, 9 8mm clear bicones, 7 6mm red bicones, 7 6mm clear bicones or white bicones, 3 4mm red bicones, excuse my voice there, and 2 4mm clear bicones. And then once we're done and we're ready to put the two together, you're going to need 12 of the 6mm white bicones and 14 of the 6mm red bicones, but we won't need those until the very end when we're putting the two halves together. You're also going to need some clear fishing line. I'm using the Eagle Claw Premium Fishing Line 10-pound test. Remember, the bicones are usually very sharp and it can break most of the normal, like fire line or wildfire or that sort of stringing method. You also need some way to cut your threads. I'm using a pair of scissors, but you might have a thread zap that you might like to use. So get your supplies together and we'll get started. Alright, I've cut off about just shy of a wingspan, maybe of my fishing line. And just for tutorial purposes, so you guys can see, I've colored one end black and one end red. And that's going to make this a little easier for you guys to see. I tried using needles, and for some reason the clear bicones, the 6 and the 4mm, have really tiny holes, so it wasn't really working with the needles. So to carry on, we're going to pick up one red 8mm bicone. And for our purposes to make this a little clearer, I'm just going to call them big or large, medium, and small, if that's okay. It'll be easier to follow along. If I keep saying 8mm, 6mm, more than likely I'm going to get confused and say the wrong thing. So I picked up one large red. It doesn't matter because it's going in the middle. Now on your left hand string, pick up a medium red and put it on the left string, and a medium white goes on the right string or the red string. And we're going to cross in a white large. So now the black string is your white or right hand string, and the red is your left hand string. When you bring them down, this is what you have. And keeping your string straight, on your left hand, which is red, pick up a medium clear, and on your right hand, which is black string for me, pick up a red medium. Like this. Drop them down, and you'll cross in a red large. And what we have is this. Alright. Here on your left hand string, which is black for me, pick up a red, medium crystal, and on the right string, which is red, the red string for me, pick up a white or clear. Drop them down, and now you're going to cross in a large clear. Now this is going to want to come loose, so just keep pulling it back. And this is what we have. In the project, we are right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Okay. On the left hand string, which for me now is red, pick up a medium clear or white. And on the right hand string, which is black, pick up a medium red and drop it down. And cross in a large red. Probably help if I had better grip on my strings. Cross the strings. And I said strings, not streams. Sorry, bad Ghostbusters reference there. Okay, that's what we have. Alright, on your left hand string, which is black for me, pick up a medium red. And on the right hand string, which is red, pick up a medium white or clear and drop it down. And cross in a large clear. And if you think I'm making this look awkward, you're right, I am. I have carpal tunnel, so my hands go numb. And I'm sorry about that. So here's what we have. And keep it in the screen, on screen. Sorry, on screen. Kind of have to tilt it a little bit there. So now we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of right angle weave. Okay, which puts us 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 right here. Okay. Once again. Pick up a clear medium and put it on your left string, which is red for me. Pick up a medium red bead and put it on your right hand string, which is black for me. Drop them down and cross in a large red. Right. left hand string, pick up a red medium. On the right hand string, pick up a clear medium. This is what we have. This is actually the last time we're going to be using the mediums, so drop it down, and we're going to cross in a clear, or a white, depending on what you're using. And this is what we have so far. And we are right there. Oops, sorry. We've made it up to this point right here. So at this point, we're going to start using, instead of putting on mediums, always on the right hand string, we're going to use the smalls, and on the left hand string, we're going to be using the large. You can see here, the large and the small. So, pick up a large clear and put it on your left hand string. Pick up a small red and put it on your right hand string. Drop them down and cross in the large red. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is starting to turn. This one is kind of this way, and this middle bead is kind of pointing up that way on a slight angle. And that's exactly what we need to make this curve. So, on your left hand string, add a large red. On your right hand string, add a large clear or white, or small, I'm sorry, small clear or white. Drop them down and cross in a large clear. And if you think this looks a little familiar, you're right, it does. It's pretty much a combo of the day one crystal candy cane we made on day one, and the Super Duo day two. But in this case, we're using crystals. It's just kind of a mashup of the two. So continuing on, pick up a large white or clear and put it on your left hand string, which is red. Pick up a small red and put it on your right hand string, which for me is black. Drop them down and cross in a large red. And now you should be able to see that it is really starting to turn there. Alright, on your left hand string, put a large red. On your right hand string, a tiny small white or clear. Drop it down and cross in a large clear. Like I said, your strings are going to want to become loose. Just make sure you keep tightening them up. And we are very near the end here. Okay. Once again, on your left hand string, string on a large white. On your right hand strings, place a small red. And drop it down. And cross your strings in a large white. Or large red, sorry. I can tell colors really. Alright, I'm just kind of trying to make it so that the strings are nice and tight. Now, we are at the end. We've made it all the way. And we have two that are identical. And that's good. So what you want to do at this point is work your two strings back through so that they meet up somewhere farther down into the work. Tie a good square knot and then weave in your ends and cut them off. And then I will meet back up with you and we'll put the two together. Alright, I've finished off my second one and just followed my thread path, tying half hitches just to make sure that this is secure. So now what you're going to need is to go ahead and, if you have enough wire or thread from before, go ahead and use it if you want to. I actually prefer to just cut off a new piece. Warm it up in my hands so I can straighten it out. I find that using a new piece rather than trying to use what the little bits that I had left over from either half, it just doesn't seem to stay tight enough for me, and I don't know why. I just find this a lot easier. So go ahead and get out your 6mm in red and white, or clear, depending on what you're using. And this time we're only going to pick up a bead, one bead at a time. We're not going to be adding, several beads like we did building this. We're just going to do one and one and one. Okay? So, oh, I haven't colored my strings. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. So, I like to start at the bottom, work my way around and back down again. You can do yours any way you like, but this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to show you. So, pick up one red bead, and again we're using the 6mm bicones, and string it on. It does not matter which side put it on, of course. We're going to start right here in this corner. So with one string, pass from the red side to the clear side of that first 8mm bead. Okay, and then do the same with your other string, so that these are going through in the same way on both the front and the back. When you lift it up, they come together like that. And as you can see, the colors are matched up, which means we have them going the right way. So I'm actually going to go the inside curve first, which actually isn't a bad thing either way, it doesn't matter. Now I'm at a white, a white stripe, so I'm going to use a white 6mm. I'll put it on one and cross my string with the other. Like this. Go ahead and pull it down. And now this is what you have. And you can actually pull this out like this and see. That's what you have. Now take your right string and go through the right clear bead. Just one. Okay, so I'm exiting here, and I'm going to go through this bead right there, which, if I can fan it out, you can see that it's this one. So yeah, one part, the front toward the back, and then the other part. And you're going through the first clear on the side. Okay. I fold it back up and go through the first clear on the other side. And basically we're going to make what looks like a ladder. Kind of doing a ladder effect here to zip these two together. It's also a right angle weave. Try not to get your strings tangled up there like I'm doing. And so far, that's the bottom. And here we are coming out the first two clear crystals on the side. So again, these are going to stay kind of loose until you get farther into the project. So don't worry about that. We are at the base of a red stripe, so we want to use a red crystal to finish off that stripe. So cross your strings in a red crystal and pull it nice and tight. It'll come loose again, but don't worry about that. Take your right hand string and go through the first red crystal on this side. Right. Oops, sorry, it's not focusing. Right there. And do the same with the other string. Going through the first red on the other candy cane. And that's what you have. So you have this unit and then the beginning of this unit. Now it's red. Now we're at the base of a white stripe. Pick up a white crystal, or clear, sorry. Cross your strings. And go through second crystals. First with one string on one side, and then I drew the second one on the other side with the second string. So now, this is what we have. This unit, and the beginning of this unit. Go ahead and do that all the way around. When you get into the curve with the tiny crystals, you're still going to do exactly the same thing using the exact same size beads, just whatever colors at the base. For example, this first one is red, so use a red 6mm, then a white, then a red, then a white, then a red. And then when you get to the two reds here, you have the little one and then the big one, you're still going to use a red. So you're actually going to do red, then red again. And then transfer into white when you get back around. So I will meet you up when I get to the curve, just to show you. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, I made it up to my first set of 4mm on each candy cane side. And I did just like I did before. I crossed in a red, then went up on each side, the two little ones, and now I'm ready to add the next bead. Now this is going to get kind of tight, and that's actually not a bad thing. You just have to be a little bit mindful of it. In case you're wondering, this is what it looks like if you let it flop around. You actually get kind of this boat almost shape to it. So my thread is actually not pulling loose here at the beginning, just kind of last couple beads that I've added. Yours should be probably about doing the same. So I'm at the base of a white stripe, so I need to use a white bead. And again, I'm still using those 6mm bicones. And I don't think I mentioned this, but I actually got all of these glass beads on 50% off at Hobby Lobby. I can't remember what the brand is called, but it's Bead Gallery or Bead Treasures, or I don't know, something like that. They just kind of hang there. There's a ton of beads, lampwork beads, and that sort of thing in the display section. And that's where I found these. I got the 3 different sizes. Not sure what, at the moment, I didn't know what size they actually were until I took them home and measured them. So I'm going up through that 4mm white on this side. Use my other string to go through its corresponding white 4mm. When I say white, I also mean clear. Which I think this might look quite striking if the white, or if the clear stripes were actually white, like opaque white. It might actually look more like a candy that we're trying to go for here in crystal version. So there it is. I'm coming out that crystal and that crystal. So I'm at the base of a red stripe here, this one. So I'm going to use a red crystal, and I'm just going to keep going on around the curve And when I get here, I'll be using a red here and a red here. So I'll meet you back up when I get up to there. Alright, that actually took a little bit of doing. A little bit of extra work there to get through this crystal because it's getting kind of tight in there, thread tight. So this is what I have. I just did this one, and these two are still hanging loose. So I'm just going to pick it up, and we're still in the red, so I'm going to do another red, and then pick it up with white, and go all the way to the bottom, red, white, till I get back here, to the bottom, where I'll meet up with the first one, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, I decided to cut in here just for a second to show you. As I'm going along, I'm noticing that my beadwork here is really tightening up, and it's no longer flopping around everywhere. So hopefully that will be the case for you, and the rest of this should be pretty smooth sailing. It's just when they're pretty much two separate entities that they stay kind of floppy, and it makes it difficult to work with. But once you get past that halfway point, like I'm at, it just becomes very simple. You might have noticed that if you had made my crystal frame, crystal beaded frame, I put the doctor's pictures in it, their ornaments. I'll link that up in the eye. You probably noticed if you made those that the same situation. This isn't difficult work. You just need to be patient with it, and keep going. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep going. Alright, I am back at the beginning. I just added that. Here, let me see if I can pull it up. I just added this crystal, this red one. And then the last one, I want to go ahead and bring that down and go through the next crystals anyway to finish off the pattern. Which of course I'm having trouble seeing it. Like that. And now I want these two to meet up somewhere so I can tie a square knot. So I'm just going to take one and go through the first bead we added in this part of the project. Oops. I accidentally caught my thread there. So now they're meeting in the corner right there. I'm going to go ahead and tie a square knot and make sure it's really nice and tight. Like that. And then I'm just going to be going to weave my tail back throughout the work somewhere. It doesn't really matter which way you go. We're just hiding the tail in. And this is what the finished product looks like. I could probably have used one more row here to make that curve just a little lower. These 6mm crystals on the inside is making it so it doesn't quite curve as much as it should. You could probably try running just straight through the small beads, the 4mm, and pulling it real tight, really tight. I'm not gonna do that. I'm happy with the way it is. All I'm going to do is add a hanger to this red bead right here and call it good. The hanger is up to you. Do whatever you like, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.